So the first thing that everyone gets wrong about Western boots is that they think they're uncomfortable. All right, so I take that back. Randy, I know you're watching this video. Of course, you know that Western boots are comfortable. You wear them every day. But the vast majority of guys who don't own a pair of Western boots, who see this heel, see the size of the shoe, they're like, no way that thing can be comfortable. Well, gents, let me break it out for you why Western boots feel so good on the feet. First up, notice there are no laces. Now, laces on boots make sense when you want footwear that is not going to easily come off. I mean, by their very design, laces are meant to constrict the leather closer to the foot, which again, keeps the boot on the foot. But if there's not much padding, can make the boot uncomfortable, especially if you over tighten the laces. Western boots, on the other hand, were designed purposely to be incredibly comfortable. As many of you guys know about the American West, in cattle drives, cowboys could be in a saddle for 20 hours a day. All boots at that time were custom made, and they wanted a piece of footwear that was functional, which included, believe it or not, a safety feature the cowboy had stolen from his European brethren, noticed in the Wellington boot, which, because there's no laces, this boot could slip off if a rider ever got caught in the saddle and was getting dragged by his horse. You'll also notice the toe box is a single whole piece of leather. So not only are they usually generous in the cut of the toe box, but leather, when it's exposed to heat and moisture, aka sweat, and you wearing it, it actually conforms to the shape of the foot. So essentially, after a few days of hard wear, every boot becomes customized to the person that owns it. Now let's talk about the heel design. For anyone riding a horse, a heel is important to be able to keep the foot in the stirrup. But on the Western boot, specifically the roper design, the heel is made a little bit larger and actually helps to distribute the weight of the wearer whenever they're walking, so they're actually incredibly comfortable. Another detail that makes Western boots so comfortable is they pay attention to the inner lining. They use a softer, more supple leather that does a great job of absorbing sweat, doesn't let it penetrate all the way through the boot, and this helps the upper and the shaft last longer, but it also makes for a much more comfortable wear. And let's talk about some of the things that are harder to see that the wearer only picks up on after they've owned the boot for a while. First up, a quality boot should have a shank inside of it, and the shank is going to usually be made of steel. You're going to see it made from other materials, but basically this maintains the integrity and the shape of the boot. The other thing is you want a Goodyear welt. A Goodyear welt is going to allow not only the sole to be resoled, so once you wear out the bottom, you can actually have that replaced and you can keep using the boot, but also it's going to be more weather resistant. Now, gents, in case I didn't telegraph it enough, today's video is brought to you by one of my favorite sponsors, Thursday Boots. Now, gents, if you're familiar with my channel, you know I've talked about Thursday Boots for years. I love what these guys do. Seriously, quality boots that use a Goodyear welt construction, that have style, that look good, and they make amazing Western boots. In particular, check out their Desperado line. This is going to be a classic cowboy style, meeting the favorite rugged and resilient leathers found over in the Thursday boot line. We've got rubber outsoles. The leathers used are going to be rugged, are going to be resilient. It's got a masculine square toe and a great shaft piping pattern. Now, if you want something a little bit dressier, check out the Maverick. Now, this is going to be their premium refined cowboy boot designed to stand out so you can stand confident. It's made with a hand-finished, full-grain leather. It's got a Western heel, intricate, quintuple stitched pattern. Like all Thursday boots, their Western line is incredibly comfortable, well made, and absolutely beautiful. Gents, down in the description of today's video, I'm linking over to Thursday Boots with the best deal you're going to find on the web. Use that link, go over to Thursday Boots, explore all the options they've got for you. We've also got clothing as well, a great company. I'm proud to support them. Again, use that link in the description of today's video to get the best deal on the web. So the next misconception is that all Western boots are the same. They're not, and I'm going to explain the difference. First up, let's talk about the roper. Now, the roper is a more modern variation of the Western boot. This isn't something really the Cowboys wore, although you go back and you look throughout your history, you'll see that variations of this existed. This is a boot that's made less for the saddle and more for everyday work and walking. Next up, you got the Western work boot, also known as the work hog. Now, Western work boots are a variant of the cowboy boot, and they were just simply made to be more practical. You're going to find the heel is usually a little bit shorter, and they're going to have, in general, rubber sole. You will also see a lot of square toes. Now, I keep talking about the cowboy boot, so let me define it. Now, a cowboy boot is a variation of Western boots. Now, typically, cowboy boots have a tall shaft that goes mid-calf. You're also going to see their straps right here that you can pull the boot on, and it should have it so that the heel has a little bit out on the edge, which allows you to use a boot horn to be able to take the boot off. Now you're also going to see the word Stockman thrown around. Stockmans are very similar to the Western work boot. In fact, you could put them in the same category. You will see square and rounded toes on Stockman, but usually the toe box is going to be a little bit wider. These are made for men that are working on their feet, not necessarily up in a saddle. Now this next style is not practical for most men, and that is a buckaroo. Now buckaroos are made to be flamboyant, but their history is actually functional. This was a higher boot that you would wear if you're going to be on the saddle in an area, maybe down in Brownsville or area where you just got thorns everywhere. You're out in the bush, maybe you're up in Oklahoma and you're out on your land. These boots were made for protection, but nowadays they're made to be just fun. They grab a little bit of attention. You'll see them occasionally at rodeos and for guys that really want to stand out. Now this next misconception is huge, and probably the biggest one why most men don't wear Western boots is because they think, I'm not a cowboy. I can't be wearing this stuff. I would be a fraud if I were to wear Western boots. Gents, I'm here to tell you that is complete bullshit. It's all about confidence. It's all about loving what this classic piece of menswear can do for your wardrobe, can do for making you look a little bit taller, just walk a little bit better. They're an amazing piece of menswear. And I really encourage you, if you want to have a simple, practical boot that has been around for a couple hundred years, even longer if you count the Wellington boot, this is just something that really can set yourself apart. And yeah, especially if you're over in Europe, if you're outside the United States, this is going to grab attention. Up in Canada, I know you guys wear these, and down in Mexico, but yeah, for non-North Americans, this is definitely a classic piece. And for those of you guys outside, this is a piece that you can bring in because everyone has a little bit of cowboy at heart, right? On a side note, I grew up in West Texas, specifically Midland, Odessa. I went to a school out in Greenwood, and we had, I would call it the trailer park ranch. You had a trailer, and we had all this land. We had horses growing up, and I have to admit, I did not like boots. I didn't wear boots. I knew tons of kickers is what we call them. They would show up in the morning's football practice, with the broomstick that you got to get your jeans open because they starch from something. I remember all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to be this. Like, I want to get out of this place. So even though I was out there riding the horses because you had to, feed them all the fun stuff, I refused to wear boots. And looking back, it was kind of stupid because they're very practical. Now, does that mean that I can't wear boots now because technically I wasn't a cowboy? No, I can still ride a horse. I can jump on there. I know everything about it. I can still shoe a horse. And I know not everyone has that background, but here's the thing is, those that even have the background, a lot of times don't want to wear it because they were rebelling or they were doing something else. But if you love menswear, if you love looking good, if you want to get compliments, if you just love a practical piece of clothing that's going to enhance your natural style, guys, look to Western boots. Now, the next misconception is that they take a long time to break in. This depends on the leather. I know with Thursday, within a week, these are going to be broken in. But there are other companies out there that maybe use a thicker, heavier leather, which in general will take more time. There are leathers out there that could take you like 6 months to break them. And a lot of people think, oh, I want that thick, heavy leather. Guys, you would be surprised at how good even thinner leathers hold up. But in general, with the modern designs out there and the way that they've got these and with money back guarantees, yeah, I would just simply go with something that is going to, that's why I like Thursday boots, because they fit perfectly and they feel good right off. And if they don't, then just exchange it for a pair that does. But even if you go with, a pair of boots that it takes a while and the person selling it to you tells you this, I still think it's worth it. Wear them around the house, just get used to wearing them, and believe it or not, that time will pass. Maybe wear them all day so your feet sweat a bit and shape the boot to your foot. Another misconception is that boots are only made from cow leather. Now, historically, especially in the American West, that was because that's what we were surrounded by and it's what was used. The majority of them are, but if you look around, there are tons of other options. If you want to go alligator, if you want to go snake, maybe you want to go ostrich, maybe you get stingray. That is incredibly tough. But again, you go with one of those exotic materials, it is going to take the price of the boot. It's going to shoot up considerably. The next misconception is that boots are only casual. Yes, there are styles that are made for everyday casual wear, but there are other styles that are incredibly versatile. You could make this an everyday wear, but you could also probably wear this pair with a suit. Maybe not New York City if ever. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you've got the attitude you're from Texas, you're like, you know what? I'm wearing this in New York City. Anyone ever done that? But I know down in Texas, you can wear boots to pretty much anything. This would look great with a suit, with a wedding. Maybe you want to wear jeans with a sports jacket with a pair of boots. I do this all the time. I was just down in Dallas, Texas, and of course I took my boots with me. I'm wearing them with a sports jacket, a dark pair of jeans, and I love the look. They're not suitable for wearing on a motorcycle. Guys, it depends on the type of boot. Look at the sole. Leather soles, I would say, yeah, don't wear these on a motorcycle. Rubber soles, perfectly fine. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? Boom, I got you covered with this video right here. Seriously, you click on this, magically, you will go to the next video. It's amazing how that works, but yeah. Come on, guys. Don't make me hold this up. Come on. Boom, right there. Click. Click. Why are you still here? Come on, Jen. Click.